Today's Answer Rants, I want to talk about one thing that's been subject matter for me for several years now. I believe I may have touched on an aspect of this in previous videos, but today I wanted to talk about burning bridges, specifically when it comes to borrowing stuff or just like whatever, I have had numerous situations from when I was a kid all the way even to present day where people would ask to borrow stuff from me. When I was a kid, it would be like CDs or video games or other things like I would never loan out my CD player, but like games, CDs, like game controllers, things like that, people would borrow and just never return them. And as an adult, people would want to borrow money. And, as I was growing up, I was always told it's okay to say no. And as I got older, I started feeling more comfortable with saying no. The reason why I didn't say no so much as a kid is because I wanted people to like me. As an adult, and as I grow older, I realize that I don't need people to like me. I don't give a fuck if people like me or not. But as an adult, with people asking to borrow money, especially in my 20s, I would let them, and then they wouldn't pay me back. And I was more lenient in my teens and 20s with it. Going on into my 30s, I've developed I forget what you would call it, but I've gotten to the point where I feel like everyone deserves a chance, depending on who the person is. And I go with this not only with borrowing things, but just with generally everything in my life. But I'll leave it sticking here to borrowing. But if I let you borrow something, or if I let you borrow money, whatever it is, if I let you borrow something and you don't give me my stuff back, or if it comes back in much worse condition than what you received it in, or if you don't pay me back when you say you're going to pay me back, and for instance, I see you going off onto vacation or doing a road trip or anything like that, right after you tell me you were going to pay me back, and generally like that particular instance, I won't let you borrow anything else. Like your bridge is burned with me. If you don't pay me back and you continue to ask for money, second time, if I do decide to let you borrow money a second time and you still don't pay me back, bridge is completely burned. I won't even talk to you at that point. Like, that's just a rule of thumb for me. Like, you have the audacity not to pay me back, but to continue to ask for money. That's not okay. And it kind of goes into what I was talking about with my previous video with people being users. At that point, people feel like they can just use me for my money or use me for the stuff I've got. And you have the audacity to ask for shit from me when you don't respect me or the shit that you get from me. Like, no. My answer is always going to be no if we continue to talk afterwards, or I'll just ignore you flat out completely ignore you and not talk to you ever again, because you don't respect me as a person. You don't respect my stuff. You don't respect my money. And furthermore, it goes even deeper than that. You don't respect my kids, because if I'm letting you borrow that money and you don't pay me back, that's money I could have used towards my kids. So fuck you for essentially stealing money and not paying me back. Like, that's not okay. And when you know that I have kids, that I have 3 kids that I could be taking care of, and you come ask me for money in the first place, and I was kind-hearted enough to let you borrow the money in the first place. So anyway, wanted to talk about that real quick. People just get on goddamn nerves, especially when it comes to borrowing shit and they don't want to return it or pay you back. Like, no, that's completely disrespectful. Anyway, that's Ants Rants for today. Thank you for watching this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces, my juices.